Hey friends, ever since I was a little kid, I desperately wanted to throw a garage sale. I don't know why, I think it was just summer vibes selling lemonade on the side, but my mom would not let me. I mean, yes, I did have a black mother, and she was probably like, no one needs to see our junk on the side of the road, so we never had a garage sale. So I'm taking control now. I'm an adult and I'm throwing my own garage sale. I did ask a few of my neighbors in my apartment building. And so tomorrow morning, we are having our own garage sale. And I'm really excited about this. I feel like my inner child is coming out. So, what I actually wanted to do and why you are here, I wanted to unhaul a few books, but I figured I also have a gift card. And so my hands are a little sticky. I want to buy some books. So I figured I can give away some things, bring in some new things, and we can go on this journey as far as releasing some really good books that I love, but also taking away some things that I've had for a while that I've never even picked up. Oh yeah, really quick. Welcome to the channel. My name is Tova and I collect books and love to make pottery. So let's get into this. These are all the books I plan to unhaul. Sorry. I feel okay getting rid of these books, and let me just give you a quick one-liner about each one of these. So this one actually really is still very much lingers in my heart. It gives this tale about this lady who was in this cult type of situation, and she is fleeing for her life while she's pregnant. It was very kind of like haunting and gives this sci-fi but also realistic kind of world. I actually do recommend it, and it's by a Black author. Camp Zero. I read the Camp Zero at the beginning of the year. It's actually a perfect winter read. Camp Zero is by Michelle Min Sterling, and Camp Zero gave me this cold kind of apocalyptic scenario where I don't want to give any spoilers, but this lady needs to build relationships, and she's kind of like a spy, and definitely would read this in the winter time. So definitely open to getting rid of this book since I finished it. And I would say I would give it, did I give it any stars? 4.0. Let's give it a 4.0. Ella, of course. I just finished reading this. In my last video, I gave a book review about it. Ella is by Diane Richards. It's a very tender kind of coming to age story. A little bit haunting because it's very heavy. She's gone through a lot as she grew up. Losing her parents, there is the R word or the R words, and she deals with a lot before she actually gets the chance of fame. Totally check out that last video if you haven't already. It's wrapped up in my first year birthday with YouTube. So at the beginning of the year, I read The Healing Season of Pottery. I made it all the way to 80%, and I just had to put it down. I don't think I'm going to pick it back up. I was a little bit disappointed, but more on the context of how they described and illustrated pottery. I thought it could have been written a bit more vividly and in detail. So happy to share this with anyone, especially my pottery community, but I'll see if anyone wants it at the garage sale tomorrow. Horse by Geraldine Brooks. Got this at a thrift store for really cheap. It's a brand new book. I love that. However, I still haven't picked it up yet. I'm open to selling this, but I kind of still want to read it, so hopefully no one buys it. Here are a few more books that I plan to unhaul, but let's walk through them. Let me know if I should hold on to them or not. Yeah, so this book I got, Reimagine Inclusion. Ooh, touchy subjects in America right now. But by Mida Malik, The Renaissance of Our Own. I read this in 2020, really inspiring, good book. I love anything Rachel Cargle, and I feel like I could come back to this, and it's a really good like kind of workbook to help you navigate and reimagine your future. The next new Syrian Girl by Riem Shikari, I also got for free. Sounds like a really interesting book. So I think it's a YA book, but I'm sure it will find a better home. If not, I will read it really quickly. The summary says, months ago, my version of a refugee was a person who flees persecution in their country and lives in a desert camp surrounded by waste. I learned that I was wrong about the hard way. There's more to the word. A refugee in Jordan is a person who flees persecution in their country to live in overcrowded apartments, to be discriminated against in the streets, and to fear imprisonment for holding a job. A refugee in Detroit is a girl like Leanne, coping with loss, quietly convinced that the world doesn't want to hear about it. A refugee's existence is too complicated to be encompassed by one of Merriam-Webster's definition. Oh, okay. This actually sounds really, really good. Maybe I'll put this on my fall TBR. In and Out of Place by Gabrielle Civil was also a book that I got for free. It's about Mexico, performance writing, and nonfiction. It's a collection of essays, and I just find myself that I have a hard time reading short stories. And I notice that when I read short stories, I easily fall into book slumps because I need something that is a bit more vivid in long form to keep me captivated for a really long time. So I really feel like this book could be an impact for someone in my community. And then finally, I did buy this book at McSweeney's. There's like a publishing place in San Francisco. It's a beautiful literary journal, but it's also short stories. So now you know how I feel about short stories. I'm going to give this to someone else who will enjoy it a bit more. Celestial Bodies by Joka Alharthi, I think is how you say her name. And it actually won the Man Booker Prize in 2019. And so it's about three sisters and how they wait to reunite with each other. And I do want to read it. I just have yet to do it. And I think I did buy this in 2019. So I feel really, really bad that I haven't read it yet. 2 hours later, I'm back to say I found Celestial Bodies on Libby Library. So I will be listening to it. Y'all don't hate me. I'm going to get rid of my Project Hail Mary. I did read this, loved it, 5-star review, but I don't need to keep everything. And if anything that I learned from 2020 and most of my stuff being in storage is that I don't need everything. And I don't think I plan to reread this book. I thought it was really good. But I do think someone else can enjoy it as much as I did. Okay, I got 2 more. Promises Stronger Than Darkness by Charlie Jane Anders. Also got this. Oh, it's book 3. Dang it. I got this for free at a climate conference. I know it's a sci-fi book about woman. And I assume that, Space Princess. Okay. I'm going to keeping this one. Space Princess, you got me. You got me there. I like something quirky. I love anything sci-fi at the moment. And then final book, First Love. I'm actually going to read this today. So now that I've kind of figured out what I wanted to unhaul, this can be my pile of books at the garage sale. I also want to get rid of a few furniture items and a few kind of knick-knack items. But I got this on Libby Library, no wait time. So I'm going to listen to this as an audiobook. I'm still going to unhaul it, but hopefully I can provide a review with a few other books next week as a beginning summer read. And yeah, First Love is by Lily Dancyger, and it's essays on friendship. I just said, I know you just heard me say, I'm not really into short stories or essays, but I feel like at the moment with some of my relationships with my friends and past lovers, this might be a book that I need to read and that's been calling to me. But it's about an essay collection that treats women's friendships as the love stories they truly are. And she talks about first loves from romance to your first best friends. I'm going to give this a dive and listen to it as I continue today. I think the next thing I'll do is create a few signs, and I'm going to paint garage sale on a poster, and we can listen to this together as we get a few of those things done. So that's my garage sale unhaul. I'm going to wait till the end of the day after I have and packed everything ready to go for the garage sale, I will come back and start buying some books online. Let me know if you've read any of these books or have any suggestions on what I should read and pick up for this summer. And thanks again for hanging out with me. I'm feeling really good just uncluttering a few things, and it's always good to unclutter because I feel like this brings me a bit of joy, and it feels good to be able to buy books that I've been really waiting for. Okay, I have 5 signs down, but I wanted to tell you guys where I was in the book from First Love. I'm a quarter way in, and it's really good. So it's about a girl who is just sharing her stories of her friendships growing up and how they've led her throughout her life. And I actually really appreciate the writing style. She says, after hooking up with a guy, there's always a desire to play, to be the center of someone's attention, or to see what version of myself I might be with them. And I thought that was so beautifully written because it made me think about how in my relationships, or some of my friends have even noticed, like, oh, you seem like a quieter person with this person, or you seem more vibrant. And I reflect on how maybe I even mirror people, or how different people bring out like different parts of who you are. So it's made me definitely reflect a lot. And I do find that this is a good book, and I'm glad that I actually picked it up. So I'm gonna finish painting and then go do some laundry and other. This is very much my domestic girl era video. But yeah, here for it. Totally here for it. Y'all, notice something? Good afternoon. I'm back. It's later in the evening, around 6 o'clock, and I got a lot done. I pulled out all my clothes in my drawers, and now I've separated some of my winter clothes and put it in a pile that could be tucked away. Even though sometimes it does get pretty cold here, I have a pile of clothes that I'm ready to sell for tomorrow, and I kind of wanted to show you some. Okay, so I have these Cezanne pants that has this drawstring, and it's kind of baggy at the top. It's not really fitted, and so I'm thinking I can get rid of this. I don't really care to get it altered, but I do like the stain wash of it. Just figuring it might be in the pile of maybe it might sell, maybe someone might like it. I have some really beautiful shawls. Oop, just dropped everything on the floor. I used to wear this shawl. I used to wear shawls in general, and thought this one was beautiful, but I wore this a lot, and so I think I'm just a bit tired of it. Right? I also pulled out all my ceramics too, and I did the same thing. This is not really a place to sell ceramics because I do want to make a profit off of them. But I did a clothing swap back around New Year's, and I had this very sequency dress that I thought would be perfect for my friend, and she swapped this dress for me. Really beautiful. The only issue is I really don't do well with like dresses that have these lines right here because I have some tatas and it doesn't fall right on me. So this dress gotta go. It's actually it's from Zara. The final thing I want to show y'all is this beautiful like swimsuit cover up that I got. But beautiful cover up. I think people will love this. I feel like this might be like one of those things where someone might see it flowing in the wind and they stop their car because they're like, what is that? And that's going to draw them into the rest of the garage sale. Okay, but let me tell you where I am right now with the book First Love. I'm like halfway through at the moment with the book, and it's gotten really good. And I would say if you are someone who cares about your friends and want to be a better friend, this is the book for you. If you don't really care about improving your relationships, pass. And it's definitely worth reading. Okay, let me get comfy. So at this point of the book, her best friend, Heather, who she was really, really close to growing up, she kind of drifted apart from her over the years, just like we all do in life and adulting. If you've noticed that as an adult, it's harder to reach out and hang out with your friends. And that's just kind of what happened. Keep that same momentum going as an adult. And so they've definitely drifted apart. And so they've all kind of dealt with mental health issues, but even more her friend Heather. At one point, she kind of dives into the topic of the sad girl era or the sad girl trope and how we tend to romanticize depression. And I never even thought about this, but I totally see that this is a thing. She says, and I took some notes. So she says, writing this to understand what was missed of was right there in front of me. It's almost when your friend is like dealing with depression or even suicidal thoughts, when they reach out and do this cry for help, it becomes this like release, oxygen release kind of thing. What is that thing when you're releasing the oxygen from the tank? And so her friend may have used her and her other friends to kind of release some of that energy, but at one point thinking it's a sense of urgency. And so Heather and like many people just kind of stop reaching out for support. She's like kind of writing and coming to terms with how some have grown and some have ended. I don't know. I just thought everything is really beautiful written, but not in a way where it makes you feel depressed. It's in a way to where it's like, how can I take what is said here and become a better friend to other people? So this is the part that I feel like I relate to a lot, that there are people who are really good at becoming comfortable in grief. And I feel like this is me because I lost both of my parents, and I have noticed that people or even some of the friends I have who have lost a parent, I recognize that these types of people show up in a different way. They are ready to support someone who is grieving. They kind of know what the drill is. They know how to support that other person versus someone who has maybe not experienced a hardship in life, may not even know how to show up in the right way. And I find this very true because I felt when my mom passed away, I kind of grappled with, where are my friends? I didn't feel like some of them were there for me, and I was very saddened and depressed by those interactions and those friendships. And I even just kind of dropped off some of those friendships cold turkey because I was just like, you weren't there for me. And it's sad because I didn't really communicate what I was feeling or how I was grieving. And I wished on both sides that there could have been a better way to approach grieving and how we could grieve with our friends better. As we all are growing older, some of my friends, their parents are getting older, and they're kind of seeing what I kind of even had to deal with. And so I'm noticing that like a lot of my friends are kind of at this place where their parents are getting a bit older, and they're needing to either take care of their parents or support them in a special way. And I think this is that moment where that we can show up and support our friends and recognize that grief, or recognize like, okay, this person's going through hospice. How can we be there for them? Can we bring flowers? Do they need DoorDash? And yeah, so this is just about like showing up for your friends. And this is why I say this book is really good. So that's where I am at the moment. I'm going to continue listening, and I'm going to actually go to a French bar tonight. And so I'm going to call it a night and see y'all tomorrow morning for the garage sale. Look at this bathroom. Yeah, I sold some yarn. Some of the yarn's gone. Some read. Very big cactus. This is this plant. And these books are sold. Everyone's been eyeing this vintage ladder. Cats don't believe in divorce. A cat thinks you should have lots of shoes. A cat would never flirt with your friends.